Hello. I haven't done this for about a year. I haven't posted any videos because, well, I just haven't had any reason to. But I'm back from one main reason. The character menu that I made about a year ago. I've been seeing comments and I've been people asking, does this work for Psych? Does this work for Psych? Does this work for Psych? With me telling them multiple times that I do not know. But I kept getting asked anyway. So, I decided to make one that I know for a fact works with Psych. And the best part is, you can just, no, this is not one of the ones you can just drag and drop into the mods folder of Psych. Which, I know, if I go here real quick into the actual thing, I know there's a folder right here. You can't drag and drop it there. This one requires it to be part of the source code. First, I made it for Cade Engine again, or at least the Bolo Vivo version of Cade. Which you may notice I have some comments, which I will go over here in a bit. The other thing is, even though you can drag and drop and source it, you still need to have a way, in like for my case, free play, you still need to have a way to activate the character menu or to swap states. So, first of all, you just drag and drop this, and depending on the version, if I can do this, if I can click compare on both of these, let me go scroll up real quick, so you can see what the difference is. So right off the bat, you'll notice that this is a difference. The reason why this is here is because the version of Cade Engine I'm using has a different thing. Different kind of song. Instead of swag song, it is song.song data. Nothing too important. And keep in mind of what it is. Left side is Psych, right side is Cade. Just so you can keep an eye on which one it is. The only reason that this is different is because the version of Psych that I have actually has a player for Pico and a player for Tankman. And this Cade does not have players for both. I'm just using these as testing only, so like Pico is normal, and then you also got the Spooky Kids. So it was just, those are only testing. These values right here on either one is what you're going to change. First, you got the actual, these would be the already unlocked characters. So like, for example, I have BF Christmas, Pico player. However, if you change the first one, it's not going to matter because I have the first one always being set to a default character, whatever's on the song. So never, you can change it, but nothing's going to happen. So don't worry, unless you want to change the name that appears top right. Don't worry about having to change that first one. Change anything after the first one. And that's the name of the character, not the literal name, the name of the character file. The second one is the name of the character. So like you see I have default character, Boyfriend But Christmas, and then Pico. That's what that is. And then this one is backgrounds, which actually, if you follow main assets needed in the README, which I can pull up the link real quick. Let's go here. Whoop. Whoop. One more. Main assets. There's a README. First, you need to download this folder, backgrounds and images. I know it's split, but you need to make sure images is inside of backgrounds. Once there, you go into, or once you download it, you put it into the assets folder of where you need it. In this case, I'm just going to use Psych Engine. You just put it in there. And then again, on the engine that needs it, you find the project.xml. You scroll down, add it to the preload all section of a library of background. And then over here with the asset path, also add backgrounds. Now, for the sake of the Cade Engine one that I'm using, if I was to look up, I'm using week 7 because it's faster to find it that way. What do you mean? Workspace folder does not exist. Bolo Vivo Cade. What do you mean it doesn't exist? It's literally right there. There you go. It wouldn't be a manifest, would it? Okay, well, I can't tell because it just did the thing. No, it would not be manifest because that's what's made after exporting. So give me a second to find it. I think it's in mod core. Yes, it is. Inside of mod core, for the sake of if you're using the same Cade Engine as me, you would also need to add this line. That's about it. All right, you can stop searching. Thank you. After that, that's just what these backgrounds are, and they're just named the exact same thing as whatever the images are. So BG1, BG2, BG3, and BG4. That's it. That's all that I have for the default ones. You don't want to add anything to these lines because this is just global variables that are already going to be there. This is just for what it actually appears on the screen. And those are the only ones that you would actually need to change. So these are the ones that you want to be able to unlock. And these are the ones that are already unlocked. So first 3, already unlocked. Second 3, ones that you want to be able to be unlocked. Then, we're going to scroll down even more, right here. This is dependent on the engine. The Kate engine should be more universal than the Psych engine one, but I still put them separated based off what they're based off of. So, Psych engine is based off UI underscore left, and normal one is based off left for Kate engine. So, change that as you need. The state is not necessarily dependent, but it's because there's an issue going on with Psych right now. Whenever I try doing it, if I do loading state with Psych, or if I do the load and switch state from loading state, apparently the background of the song does not load. So instead, I'm doing a forced switch state, which makes it work. I don't know how, but it does. And everything else, there's nothing else you need to change. The only thing that may occur is this one area. The code it's just intended for Psych. If this is causing issues, just delete it. This whole area. As it states, is only intended for Psych, but if necessary, can be used in other things. And it shouldn't cause issues with other things. But if it does, delete it. Simple as that. And that's it. All you have to do is make sure that these files are inside of the source file or source folder, wherever you need it. And then once there, I'm going to use free play, for example, here. But once you put it in there, all you have to do is go to the state that you want to load it from. There's only 3 lines you got to add. I put that in the wrong place. There you go. Choosing. Right there. So first of all, this is actually not even necessary. Technically, you only need 1 line of code, and I'll explain what that 1 line is, but I'd recommend 3. And I forgot to make this public. That was on me. I would recommend making a public variable in case you want something else to affect this. Like, for example, an option of sorts. But make a public variable. Start it off as false. Right? And then, since I already have the labels here, it's going to be easier for me to scroll. But start off as false. I just chose choosing car so it's more recognizable for me. And then find out where the states actually load by just looking up loading state and all this, or you can just look up the same things that I have on screen right here. You could probably just find it easier with a new space play state, because that might be the only one it is. So just look up new space play state. And then once you're here, this is what I did. So else if, I add an else if statement, only do the loading, because this one actually works with loading state. Add a loading state switch, or whatever you want, with the condition of if that thing up there is true. Once you do that, that's the bare minimum you need. Technically, you actually only just need this 1 line, but then it would always force load it once something happens. So I'd recommend adding a conditional. And once you do that, leave it false for now. Give me a second to move into the Psych engine folder. Alright, once you get that done, you want to test the thing to see if it even runs, which is going to take me a bit. Which I believe I've also Really? I know what this issue is, and I don't know why it keeps giving me the same issue. Because I have it here. HX codec. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Let's try that again. If it gives me the VLC thing again, then I have to reset my console. This is taking longer than I expected. Make sure no errors happen. I have already stated in the instructions for Psych engine. Sorry, my dogs are starting to bark. I'm literally about the same things that I'm already doing. Sure, you have the background folder and library path, which I have already labeled over here. So you can follow them here. And after that, you download the version of the car menu that I have for CycEngine, which is supposed to be universal, but in case you don't want to change that much code, there you go. I'm uploading them anyway. Make sure the location of the newly installed character menu is inside of the source folder. And then show the background folder is located in the assets folder, which I have images of both. You want to put whatever characters you want to their specific variables, which I think is very self-explanatory here, which ones are already there and which ones are unlockable. Move whatever state, which I did with the free play. Oh, it's loading up. Good. Add a Boolean variable, which means true or false. It's set to false for now, which is what I'm saying. Find the state that changes a new one and add an else if statement to check the variable is created as true. And if it about to test it to see if it runs on false. If it runs on false and it doesn't affect anything, then we go back and set it to true. Which I would love to know. Oh, there you go. So we go into here. I have it set to free play, but I currently have it set to false. So if I go into here, you'll notice nothing's going to happen. It's just going to be default. Hopefully.
3, 2,
Yep.
1, go!
Just default. Alt F4, because you don't have to do that. I just did it for quick leaving. So then I go back over here. Then I go back to up here and set this to true. And this is just to see if it works. I forgot to save. Cancel that. Save. There we go. Now, for the sake of actually causing a trigger to determine whether it is true or false, I have done a thing for the other character menu for CadeEngine, which I would like to showcase. Because again, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just dependent on what you want to do with it. And this one I accidentally gave it a different name. I named it Choose Character. Don't mind this variable. This is for me just on the screen to determine if I've already changed it or not. But all you'd have to do is find where you can press left or right to change the song difficulty. Choose a key that you want. In my case, I just chose tab. And make it to where the variable is just the inverse of whatever the variable was. So in this case, it's a very simple line. Just do variable is equal to exclamation point variable. That is it. That's all I did for that one, so I could swap in and out of character menu. And I decided me a little text thing to show it up. Anyway, this is me testing it with a variable as true for CycEngine. And looky there. So I got the default character for this song. That's what that means. Come over here, you get the Christmas. And because I've done the unlock variable, don't mind that. I'm going to press U real quick. Go back in it. You notice he's gone now. I had that unlock variable. It's for like inputting an event or something like that. However you want to make it unlock that character. But for testing purposes to see if it'll unlock, on this screen, you just press U, leave it, and come back. And there it is. So this means you can unlock a song or unlock a character based on if a song is complete or whatnot. But you notice how you saw BF holding GF as the default character because that's what plays in the stress. If you go to guns, he's just normal BF. If we go to thorns, he's a little off center. I still have to fix it for pixel characters because I have to scale them up because if I don't, they're going to be super small. 2, I can't really center them like I can with the other things because it's based off their smallness, not based off how I scaled them, apparently. But you will notice that, and this is a problem technically. Yes, I got 2 of the Christmas ones here, but that's just how it does. And you will see that if I go over to stress, for example, let me choose another character. It's going to take a bit.
3, 2, 1,
I am actually playing as them. Well, I'm waiting for it to do it so I can show you that all the movements are there. Yep. There, see? I'm actually playing as that one, and although it breaks this one because there's no other... Oops. Oops. How'd I do that? I don't know Psych that well, alright?
3, 2.
I really don't know Psych all too well, so I don't know how I did that. We can go over here.
3, 2, 1.
And you'll see I'm playing as Pico. So it's not just like, oh, I've made it just one song only, no. But I'm working on a way to make it to where you can choose if it's only a song. But yeah, you can see there it is. Self-explanatory. There's nothing much to it. And this one is a lot easier to use than the way I had the previous one. Hope this works. It's not done yet. Which obviously, because I only have the one for Psych, if I was to go somewhere else, like this Cade one, boom, there's nothing yet. Literally nothing yet. I will be making instructions for all of these. So if you want your version of Cade, if you want your version to be right here, it'll be right here. I will be making a lot of changes to the character menu. I will not be making videos on them, which I know might suck, but I'm being honest there. We'll not be making videos on the updates unless it's like a major update that completely changes it, like this one does. I have a new GitHub, mainly just for the character menu, which is just Torch the Dragon / car menu after GitHub. There you go. And aside from that, because it's just supposed to be a drag and drop and you just change very little variables. If you ever want to figure out how I did something, all you would have to do is just look up car menu in most of these things, and you'll find everything. So I can just go here, car menu, and look at that. There's the readme. Well, don't worry about the git ignore. Another readme. Okay, well, there's a lot of readmes, but then you'll see like free play. You'll see the 2 car menu for switching states. And in this one, you'll also see that one. And then you also see the actual car menu files. So literally the only 2 changes you see, because let's just look at Bolo Vivo. The only 2 changes you see for Bolo Vivo are the actual car menu file or where to add car menu, which is right here. And I even left a note. And same with Psych. You will notice that in free play I have it adding a new car menu. And down here, it's the car menu file. Very self-explanatory. I hope that helps, and hopefully people will stop asking me if it works for Psych. If you do ask me if it works for Psych in the comments, I'm just going to assume it's a joke. Have a good day. And maybe, just maybe, I might make some more videos later on, depending on what I do.